Month, September. Date, 1-7. Location details, Redgut Bay, Rainy Lake, ONT, Canada. Nearest town, 45 kilometers east of Fort Frances. Nearest road, Kings Highway 11-71. Observed. What I saw when I was 14 years old is still hard to believe to this very day. It was around the first week of September I headed out to do some bird hunting like I had done years before with my grandfather. On this day he figured that I was old enough and wise enough to do this on my own now. So I went to the same old skidder trails that I have hunted since I can remember. I went out at approx. 7 a.m. with my 410 shotgun and my little mixed dog, which was very aggressive and had run-ins with bears, moose deer and everything else that lives throughout the bush in northern Ontario. Redgut Bay, Rainy Lake. Since we were both young in the vast forest, I had been hunting for about an hour or two with no results, very odd for these trails which had always carried a large population of birds. I tried 3 or 4 different trails when my dog began to act very nervous and skittish on the 4th and most northerly trail. I knew something was near, most likely a bear, since I was starting to smell what I can only describe as a wet dog mixed with a garbage smell. It was more intense the farther up I walked the trail. Within seconds my mean little hunting dog, which wouldn't have chased or fought off anything we had come across before because she was so protective of me, had suddenly took off like a greyhound in a race down back the trail when I had just started to call her name Tina. When I heard the tall grass about 3 feet high and those grown-over trails begin to shuffle, when what I will say was a huge man-like creature which was at least twice as big and tall as any bear I had seen before or seen since. This, what I can now call a Bigfoot, stood up, glanced at me for a second, then calmly crossed into the other side of the trail in what I think was maybe 2 or 3 steps. I was 6 feet tall at that time. It would have taken me half a dozen or so steps to cover that kind of ground with old logs and rocks hidden under that grass. It made almost no noise as it did so. The most outstanding features on this creature was the size of its upper body, but mostly the dark, almost grayish-black eyes, large ridges over its eyes where the eyebrows would be. Big brownish-red lips. Yes, I was this close and scared to death, even too scared to think about running or using the shotgun that was in my hands. I think I stood there for a minute or so, I think maybe longer, frozen with fear. The thing that may have snapped me out of this was, where is my dog? My best friend that had took off so quickly. On my very fast way back down the trail I heard large branches being broke as if it was running from me as fast as I was from it. I asked myself 100 times what the hell that could have been. Now I am certain it was a Bigfoot. With its reddish black hair or fur and walking upright with human features, there was no way it could be anything else, period. I have kept this secret for a long time, not even telling my grandparents when I got back to the cabins. I was so stressed about this that I did not hunt for 2 years after that, and have never went back to those trails since. Also noticed, bad smell, really bad. Other witnesses, no. Other stories, only on your website, but I'm just learning more on the computer. Time and conditions. Approx time 8:30-9:00 am. Weather was wet and damp. Visibility was great. Environment, thick pine forest, with small rock faces, very remote part of Rainy Lake.